Wir sind hier mit John Meeham, dem Macher des Jingle Cross in Iowa, einem gigantischen Event mit Starterzahlen, von denen wir nur träumen kennen. 70 Rennen in 3 Tagen, 3-Tages-Events werden da veranstaltet. Hi John,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm very good.
Yeah.
Tell us something about the plan, the idea, the development of your race, the Jingle Cross. And
Yes, well, now we're into our 15th year of the Jingle Cross in Iowa City. Started out as a small one-day race with 60 of my friends as a little amateur race, and now it's grown to be the largest cyclocross event in North America. We have 3 days of racing, and this will be the 3rd year that we are a UCI World Cup in 2018-2019 season.
Wow. Are you racing yourself?
Yes, but in the slow old person's group.
Yeah, but I can still see the big smile on your face.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I think I assume you have a good, you are having a good time racing.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
cyclocross. I used to road race, and the first time I heard of cyclocross, I'm like, "What? This is a crazy sport."
Yeah.
So I got on the bike, and I was like, I did my first race, and I was just overwhelmed. It was so much fun. And 3 months later, we put on our very first Jingle Cross.
So Jingle Cross, is it a commercial event or is it a charity event?
Yeah, we actually are kind of quite unique. My real job is I'm a pediatric surgeon. I operate on children. I used to work at the University of Iowa Children's Hospital in Iowa City. And when we had our event the first year, it was just 60 friends, amateur racing, no UCI, no pros. And we didn't make a lot of money, but we donated to the Children's Hospital.
Wow.
And every year ever since, we continue to do that. I have all volunteers. We don't keep the money. We donate it away every year.
Wow. And how many volunteer hours do you think went in the event?
That I don't even think I can count. It's a lot. I have the most amazing team of volunteers. The city of Iowa City, Coralville, North Liberty are all little towns around the Iowa City area. The mayor's office and the Iowa City government office, Johnson County, which is our county in Iowa City, and just hundreds and hundreds of volunteers. I have a core group of about 30 to 40 people who have been with us from the start and have been fantastic.
So what's your motivation to do such an amazing event?
Oh, it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun. I mean, we're kind of entertainers. It's
Yeah.
sports entertainment, but in the United States, it's a little bit different than some other places, perhaps. In here in the Netherlands and in some countries here, it's really a spectator sport. Huge crowds, and they love. I mean, they come and see that, and we like that too. But what's interesting about the United States is it's not just a spectator sport, but it's also a participation sport. So we have 3,000 people racing, 3,000 registrations over 3 days in amateur racing with 70 amateur races in the 3 days on top of the UCI Men's and Women's World Cup, UCI C1 and C2 races for men and women as well. So we have 6 pro races, all these amateur races, then some fun races. We have a doggy cross where we have the owners with their dogs. We set up this obstacle course. They have to pick up their dog and carry it over the barricades like it's a bike, and it's a lot of fun. We just have a great time.
Yeah, it sounds like really fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it spans over 3 days because of the distances, or because it's even more fun when it's lasting for longer?
Oh, it's totally both. Totally both. One of the great things about having a 3-day event is people come and they stay. They come and they're there for the party. We have DJs, bands, a great what we call the beers and gears celebration. So
Could you elaborate on this a bit?
oh
further,
yeah,
please?
it's a lot of beer. It's a lot of beer. And actually, when you look at where our revenue streams are for how we make the event function, one of the biggest revenue streams is selling beer.
Yeah,
so
sure. It's the same all over the world, I would assume. But in your case, I think it's probably a bit more beer.
it's a lot of beer.
Do your fans also dress like French fries, like they do in Belgium?
Yeah, we actually get some pretty crazy costumes. One additional event we've always had is something we call the Single Speed Speedo Spectacular. It started out as a joke. I mean, our race used to be in December, and we would have a single speed bike race, and we would say, and the joke was anybody who wears just a Speedo
Yeah.
gets a prize. And we had 3 guys the first year, just 3 guys. The prize was toe warmers, you know, the little things you keep. So I thought that was funny. And then the next year it was 10 guys, and the year after that it was 30 girls in bikinis and 20 guys wearing Speedos, and then crazy costumes. So we still have that event every year, and it's just it's crazy celebration of cycling. It's not a race anymore. It's just a nutty thing, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I really like your take on the naming, the naming thing. I think we can learn a lot of this because in Europe it's a bit more serious. The naming is exactly what's on the tin. It's what you get.
Right.
But
yeah, ours it was started out as this Christmas themed race. I'm a huge fan of Dr. Seuss and the Grinch Who Stole Christmas. And so one of the big events we've always had, which a local teddy bear store sponsored at first, was we have a kids race.
Yep.
And I was going to dress up as Santa, but instead I'll just put on a Grinch costume. So I put on the Grinch costume, and we give away teddy bears to all the participants. It's free. It's totally free. And our sponsor gives us the bears. And I was running up this big hill, and one of the little kids afterwards said, "Hey, look, the Grinch is running up Mount Crumpet." And so ever since then, we now have Mount Crumpet in Iowa. That's how it got named. And then we name all the descents after different things, like there's the bobsled run, the luge run, the frost forest, and all these crazy little terms. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
okay. So what do you do besides cyclocross and medical stuff?
Yes, my real job is I'm a pediatric surgeon. I used to live in Iowa. I actually moved years ago to Seattle, which is quite a ways from Iowa. It's about 2,000, maybe even further, 3,000 kilometers from Iowa City. But I always put the race on still. But in my heart, you know, this is all about for the kids in the Iowa City area, which is one of the reasons why I think the race is so successful. We have such a great community of people in the Iowa area, and Iowa City is such a fantastic cycling community. We have, besides cyclocross, they even have a permanent cyclocross park now in Iowa City. Great road racing, great gravel riding, and gravel racing is becoming real popular. Fantastic gravel scene in Iowa. And an event in Iowa called Ragbri, which is put on by one of the newspapers called the Des Moines Register, which is in Des Moines, Iowa. And that's about a 700 or 800 kilometer bike ride from across the state. It's recreational, it's not a race. And they usually get like 30 or 40,000 people to do that in a period of 7 days. It's just an incredible thing. So Iowa is all about cycling.
Okay.
Tell us about your plans for this year.
Yeah, this year with our World Cup 2018, we're very excited. This will be our 3rd one. We're going to add more entertainment, more bands, more DJs,
Even
more races.
Is that possible?
Oh yeah, the bigger the better, you know. It's such a great participation sport that everyone's real excited about it, and my crew that I have is just amazing.
Can you let us in on some secret details?
Oh, about for this year? Yeah, we're changing the course up a little bit. We're gonna make it. It's hard. I mean, every year Mount Crumpet is this enormous hill, and we have you go up it several different ways. Per lap, you're going up it in different areas 3 times. In different, it's huge. So you can different here, different there. We're gonna make that even more challenging for this year. So all the riders from Europe are gonna be. That was hard.
Okay. And on the fun side, is there some crazy new race series on?
Yeah, well, we're trying to think of some new things for this year. I think that the doggy cross last year was on a whim, and we just said kind of put it together at the last minute, with 3 or 4 weeks to go. And we're going to make sure that's a really big event this year. Okay. And that was, of all the things we did last year, was probably the thing that was the best surprise. And it was so cool to see everyone with their pets coming out. And by the way, the owner is the one that has to do everything, not the dog. So there's, besides there, you have to pick up your bike and carry it over pick up your dog and carry it over the barriers. There's also a place where we call it the dog house. You have to go underneath, and you're in the dog house, and you got dogs on a leash. You got to crawl through it, and then there's a place where you have to roll over.